Hello, students. My name is Joshua Antobre, aka Pajo, social media maths teacher, and today I have the ongoing Wassce elective maths objective century questions with me here. And I was like, let me go through it and see how best I'll be able to use the calculator to solve. And can you believe I was able to use the calculator to solve 30 out of 40 questions? Within like 30 minutes, I was done. So I'll take you through and we'll see how fast it is and how easy it is to use the calculator to solve, especially objective questions in examinations. So let's quick start and start solving the questions. Question one says we are supposed to find x. Yes, so we just type the equation straight. 2 raised to the power bracket open alpha x squared plus 2 alpha x bracket close is equal to 8. So I press shift solve for x, and I press equal to x is equal to -3 appears. So when we check the answers, it's C and D who has the -3 inside. The rest is -1 or 1. So which is the answer? Is it -1 or 1? So we start putting in those values in C. So we put in 1 in C. So 1, I press equal to, see that to come fast. X is equal to 1. And then definitely that means that is the answer, C. We move on to question 2. Question 2 is a binary operation question. That one is also done in the comp mode. You are supposed to find x if x star -5 is equal to -13. So that's the binary operation expression, x minus y plus 2xy. So I just type x, the operation, that's x minus, so already y is -5, so minus -5. See, I'm typing it, plus 2 alpha x alpha y is equal to -13. So we are supposed to, let me replace the y by the -5. So 2x multiplied by -5, yes, is equal to -13. So shift solve for x, I press equal to, and the value will come. X is equal to 2. That's B. Question 3 is coordinate geometry. We are supposed to find the equation of the line through the point -1, 2, which is perpendicular to another line. That's the line equation of that line. So we know that the gradient of two perpendicular lines, you negate 1 and you invert it. That's m1 is equal to -1 over m2. That's the gradient of 1 is equal to the negative inverse of the other. So we can definitely read and find the gradient for that particular line. So when you make y the subject, you will see that the gradient will be 3 over 7, because the coefficient of x will be 3 over 7. So if you want the gradient for the other line, that will be, you invert it and you negate it, that will be -7 over 3. Simple. So we want to find the equation. Now we have to enter the 2 points. So we go to mode and we select start. Equation of a line is 2, so I press 2. Then I type in the x and y values. So -1, x is -1, y is 2. So I put it in. So the second value is not given, but with the gradient, you'll be able to find the second value, because the gradient is like a common difference. So from moving from 1 to 2, moving from 2 to 3 is the same difference. So we just add 1, the next term, that's the next term for -1 is 0. The higher term is 0. So I press 0. And what will be the value for y? So the value for y, I would add 2. So 2 plus the gradient, which is -7 over 3. Then I press equal to, so that it will be inside. Then I clear it. I find the equation. I want to find the equation. The equation of the calculator is a plus bn. So I press shift start regression a. A is -1 over 3. Put it in mind. Then I press shift start regression, then b, 2. So I press equal to, and the b will come. B will be -7 over 3. So we have -1 over 3 as A, -7 over 3 as B. So the equation will be y is equal to -7 over 3x minus 1 over 3. So when we multiply through by the denominator, which is 3, we get the answer to be B, which is 7x plus 3y plus 1 is equal to 0. Question 4 states that find the fourth term in the binomial expansion. This is very easy. So the first term will be 4 combination 0 up to the last term, which is 4 combination 4. So the third term will be 4 combination 3. So I just press 4 shift combination 3. I press equal to. That will be the coefficient. That's 4. So if it's 4, then in decreasing powers of x and increasing powers of y, you see that x will be 1 and y will be cube. Like that's 3. So it will be 4x with the power 4xy cube. Question 5 is very easy. It says find a range of values of x for which this is a quadratic inequality. So we just move on to quadratic equation on the calculator. So I press mode, I choose equation 5, and I choose quadratic, which is 3. I press 3. Then I type in the coefficients. Coefficient of x squared is 1. So I press 1 equal to coefficient of x is negative 3. So I press negative 3 equal to coefficient or the constant is 2. So I press 2 equal to. Then I press equal to again to reveal my values. So I press equal to x1 is equal to 2. I press equal to again. X2 is equal to 1. So the answers are 1 and 2. So when you check the options, you see that the answer is what? D, 1 and 2. Question 6. Question 6 says the probability of Elohor passing any examination is 1 over 3. If she takes 3 examinations, calculate the probability that she will fail 2 of them, which means she will fail 2 and pass 1. So if the probability of passing is 1 over 3, the probability that she will fail or he will fail is 1 minus 1 over 3, which is 2 over 3. So pass is 1 over 3, fail is 2 over 3. So the probability that you fail 2 of them will be in 3 ways. Either you fail the first one, the second one, and pass the last one. So it will like to be 3 ways. You fail 2 and pass 1. So you multiply the expression by 3. So 3 multiplied by failing, which is 1 passing, pass 1 over 3 times failing, which is 2 over 3 times another failing, 2 over 3. Then I close brackets. I press equal to give me the answer 4 over 9, which is A. Question 7 says evaluate that expression as x approaches 2. You know that when you put 2 inside directly, you get an undefined because the denominator will be 0. So we just factorize the denominator, which is difference of 2 squares. That's x minus 2, then x plus 2. So x minus 2 on the numerator will cancel the x minus 2 on the denominator, leaving only x plus 2 on the denominator and 1 on top. So if you put in 2, we will get 1 over x, which is 2, plus 2, which is 4. So x will be 1 over 4, which is B. Question 8, it's geometric series. It says find the common ratio when you are given the first term and the sum to infinity. This one, the calculator can solve geometric series, but not like in this way. So let's skip this one for now. It's very easy, but because I'm showing you how to use the calculator to solve the questions, you skip it for now and move on to the next one because we've timed ourselves. Question 9 says simplify this one. This is very easy. This one I can take less than 20 seconds. So I just type the expression. That's, I'll press this sign and the fraction will appear. So log, that's to the base 2 root 8. Then the denominator will be log to the base 8, 1 over 8 or 8 inverse. So I press equal to, and I get negative 3 over 2. So negative 3 over 2 is D. I move on to question 10. Question 10 says find the area of the finite region enclosed by the curve, that's 3x squared minus 2x plus 1, and the lines x equals 1 and 2. So this is very simple. I just type my integration sign, then I put in the expression, that's 3 alpha x squared minus 2 alpha x plus 1. And I put in the value of my limit, which is 1 down, then 2 up. Then I press equal to get my answer, which is 5. So I get 5. 5 is D, 5 square units. So we move on to question 11. A stone is thrown vertically upwards with the velocity. Find the maximum height reached. So this one is very easy, but we cannot use the calculator to solve unless we work. It's very easy. You use the expression V is equal to U plus AT to find time. Then S is equal to UT plus half AT squared to find the maximum height. So it's very simple, but we are using the calculator to solve. So we will skip that one and move to the next question. Question 12 is matrices. We are supposed to find X and Y in this one. So this one is two ways. Either we use linear equation to find X and Y, or use matrices. But since this is matrix question, let's use matrix. So I press mode, I go to matrix, which is 6. Then I choose matrix A, 1. It's a 2 by 2 matrix, so I press 5. And I enter the coordinate. Let's this particular one be A. So negative 7 equal to, we have 13 equal to, then we have 7 equal to, then we have 26 equal to. Then we move on to the next matrix dimension, matrix B this time. So it's a 2 by 2 matrix. So let's this one rather now be matrix B, which is negative 5, 2, 1, and 7. So now to find X and Y, matrix A minus 3 times matrix B. So let's find it. So I press shift, matrix A is 3 minus 3 times shift matrix B, which is 4. So matrix A minus 3 times matrix B, I press equal to. So I get 8, 7, 4, 5. So X is here, which is 8, and Y is here, which is 5. So the answer is X is equal to 8, Y is equal to 5, which is B. So we move on to question 13. So question 13 says, simplify 4 minus, this is very simple. So we just move on to the comp mode because it's matrices. You have to remove it from there. Then we type 4 minus 1 over 2 minus root 3. This is very simple. This is less than 10 seconds. Then the answer will come 2 minus root 3, which is B. Question 14 is a probability question. We are supposed to, the probabilities that that's John, Rose, and Tom will win are that respectively. Calculate the probability that exactly 2 of them will win the prize. So their probability of losing or not winning will be 1 minus this one, which is 2 over 5, 1 over 3, and 2 over 7. So we'll find the probability that John will win, Rose will win, and Tom will fail. Or John will win, Rose will fail, Tom will win. Or John will fail, Rose will win, and Tom will win. So we press this, and John will win is 3 over 5 times. Rose will also win, will be 2 over 3. Then Tom will fail, will be 2 over 7. Or, you close brackets, plus. Or means plus, so plus. John will win, that's 3 over 5. Sorry. 3 over 5 times. Rose will fail, which is 1 over 3. Then times. Tom will win, 5 over 7. Then the last one plus. John will lose, which is 2 over 5 times. Both of them will win, 2 over 3 times 5 over 7. So equals, that's my answer, 47,105. I press this one to send it to decimals, 0.4476, which is B. So we move on to question 15. 15 says a force, this one is also very easy. Ft is equal to M times V minus U. Then you solve it, but this one is working. So let's keep this one and move to the question 16. Simplify this one to, unless you work it, it's also simple, but we are showing only how to use the calculator. We'll come back to it and solve it. Then we go to question 17. Question 17 says, that one, so you have to work it. You have to find the G inverse. You have to work it. Let Y equals that expression. Interchange X and Y and make Y the subject. So let's move on to question 18. Yes, question 18 the calculator can solve. So let's see how best we use the calculator to solve question 18. So question 18 says it's a partial fraction. We're supposed to find P plus Q. So the denominators, if you multiply x minus 2 and x minus 1 by taking the LCM, the denominators will be the same. So if the denominators are the same, then we can equate the numerators and solve for P and Q. So let's equate the numerator. So 5x, let's make x a. I'll tell you the reason why. 5a plus, let's make px because we want to find p first. So let's make px is equal to 11 multiplying x minus 1. So a minus 1 plus q. Let's make q b. B multiplied by a minus 2. So the reason why I'm making xa, px, and qb is that the calculator can only solve for x when there is x inside. A and b, c, d, the calculator will not be able to solve it. But first, I want to find p first by putting x to be 2 to eliminate q and find p. That's why I made px so that the calculator can find. So I press shift, solve, and the value of a, which is 2, so that I can eliminate q and solve for p. So I continue because I want to find p or x. So solve for x, I press equal to, and the answer will come 1. So p is equal to 1. I put it somewhere. Then I come and find q. Now so to find q, I put p to be equal to 1. So let me change p now from x to b this time. So I change p from x to b. So p will become b. Then I change q to be x. So I change b to be x. Now I'm supposed to find q. So I put this time around, I put in x to be equal to, or I put in p to be equal to 1 because we've already found p, so that we can find q. So I press shift solve. So a is already, let's make x 1. Then already b is 1. So I move on to find x. So x will be -6. You see, it's able to solve x -6. So q is -6, p is 1. So when you add it, we will get -5, which is b. We move on to question 19. Question 19 is an integration question. You are supposed to find the value of k if the integral of kx minus 2 with the -1 and 2 as limits will be equal to 0. So this is very easy. You just interchange k with the options below. So the one that will give you 0 is the right answer. So I press my integration sign and I press k. So the person chose 4, which is d. So, but I don't want to let us put 4 in now. Let us put -4 in and see whether you get 0. So -4x, which is kx, -4x minus 2. Then the limit will be, we have our limit to be -1 and 2. So I press equal to and see. That's -2. I didn't get 0. So let me change from -4 to what the person chose, 4, and see. So I put in 4 and I press equal to. I get 0, which means k is equal to what? 4. Question 20 says, given that a particle of mass 2.5 kg has initial velocity of that 6i minus 4j meters per second, and the final velocity is -8i plus 2j meters per second, find the change in the momentum in Newton seconds. So this is very easy. Change is just subtraction, but it has an initial mass of 2.5. So we subtract one from the other and multiply by 2.5. And this can be done only with the complex mode. So I press mode, I select complex. So 2.5 multiplying minus 8i, watch my hands very closely, plus 2. Let me introduce double brackets because I'm multiplying the expression by 2.5. I close brackets, then I subtract it from 6i minus 4j. I close brackets and I press equal to. So I get -35i plus 15j. -35i plus 15j, which is p. Now let's move on to question 21. Mind you, because I'm explaining whilst I'm typing, it will take me a bit longer than 30 minutes, which I like without talking. If I was supposed to solve it without talking, it would have taken me like less than that. But because I'm explaining and everything, it take me like 30 to 40 minutes. But in the real situation, without talking, I could use like 20 minutes to finish everything. So the next question is, given that M is this matrix and N is this matrix, let's correct to two decimal places and find the determinant of M minus 2N. So this is also very simple. We go to matrix, that's 6. I select matrix A, it's a 2 by 2 matrix. So M will be A, so keep it in mind. So negative, 0.2, 0.9, minus 0.1, and 1.1, that's matrix A. Now I go on to type matrix B, shift math, dimension, B is 2. So it's a 2 by 2 matrix. This time around, N will be 0.9, minus 1.6, 0.3, and 4.1. So we have to find the determinant of M minus 2N. So let me clear this one. Shift matrix. So determinant is 7. You see DET. So I press 7. Bracket is open already. So A minus 2N. A minus 2B rather. M minus 2N will be A minus 2B on the calculator. So shift matrix A minus 2 shift matrix B, which is 4. So I press equal to 14.23, which is A. Now we move on to question 22. It's a vectors question. So given that PQ is equal to 5i plus 3j and PR is 2i plus 5j, find RQ. It's very simple. So in triangle PQR, if you want to find RQ, it will be PQ minus PR. PQ minus PR. So you go to the complex mode. So I press mode, I choose complex 2. So it's PQ minus R. So PQ is what? 5i plus 3j. I close it, minus PR is 2i plus 5j. I press equal to. So I get the answer to be 3i minus 2j, which is B. I have another question under equations. So find the least value of x which satisfies this equation. So this is very simple. So already it's in complex. So I move out from complex to the comp mode or compound. So alpha x plus square root of 3 alpha x plus 4, which is equal to 8. I'm supposed to find x. I press shift solve. I press equal to. And the answer will come. X is equal to 4, which is B. Let's move on to question 24. Now, question 24 is a series and sequence question. I told you you can solve series and sequence previously, but because the way that question was twisted, that's why we skipped that one. But this one, let's see how best we will solve this one. So the question says, how many terms of the linear sequence 6 to negative 2 must be added to obtain a sum of negative 714? So we have the options. So to use the calculator to solve this, we must find the nth term or the equation of that line, because a linear sequence is just a line, an equation of a line. It has the gradient is equal to the common difference. So here we have a common difference as 4, because first term is 6, second term is 2, which is 6 minus 4 will be 2. 2 minus 4 will be negative 2. So let's first find the nth term. So I press mode and I select start. That's linear sequence 2. So I type the first term and the second term as x values. So the first term is what? 6. So y will be 6. And the second term will be what? 2. Y will be 2. Now, let's go and find the equation of the line. So I clear it. I press shift or equation or the nth term. Shift start, regression. Shift start. So I clear it. Shift start, regression. I choose A. A is 10. So put that in mind. Shift start again, regression. This time I try and choose B. And B is negative 4. So the equation of the nth term or the nth term is 10 minus 4n. Or the equation of the line is 10 minus 4x. So we want to find how many terms will give negative 714. So we move out from the start to the comp mode. Then we have this summation sign. Shift. Summation, we all know what summation is for. Summation is for addition, like adding number of terms. So let's type the equation of, or the nth term, which is 10 minus 4x. Now, which are the limits? It starts from 1 to the last limit is what we are supposed to find. We don't know yet, so we can start putting in the values of A, B, C and see which one will give us 714. So let's put in A. 17 negative 442. So it's not A. Now let's put in 19 negative 570. So it's not B also. Now let's put in 21. So I press 20, I press equal to negative 714. So we know that the answer is what? C. So now we move on to question 25. It says, if x plus 5 and x minus 3 are factors of this expression, find the values of q minus 3k. So this is sort of a simultaneous equation. If you are supposed to put in negative 5 and 3, remember that x plus 5 is a factor, which means that if you put negative 5 inside the expression, you are supposed to get 0. So we can put in negative 5 and equate to 0 to be one equation. Then we put in 3 and equate to 0 to get the other equation. So when we do that, we end up having two simultaneous equations, which is the first equation will be 25k plus q is equal to 30. And the second equation will be 9k plus q is equal to negative 18. So we go to mode, we go to equation, which is 5. Simultaneous equation in two variables is 1. So the first equation is 25k plus q, coefficient of q is 1, is equal to 30. And the second equation will be 9k plus q is equal to negative 18. So we press equal to, we have x to be 3 and we have y to be minus 45. So it will be minus 45 minus 45 minus 3. Minus 45 minus 3 times 3, which will be minus 45 minus 3 times 3, minus 54. So minus 54 is D. Because of the techno, it didn't come up, but it's D. It's 54. 26 is very simple. This can take you like less than 10 seconds or even 5 seconds. We are express this one as a set form. So it's very simple. We just press 135 degrees. Sorry, we just press cos 135 and we press equal to negative root 2 over 2. So negative root 2 over 2 is A. This is like 2 seconds. So let's move on to the next question, question 27. Question 27 says, find the values of m for which the equation is an equation of a circle. This one too, we have to solve it. To take a lot of, like, we have to work by hand, so we can't use the calculator to solve it. So we skip that and move to 28. 28 too is the same. They are angles. It's very easy, but we have to write something down. So let's skip it and go to 29. 29 too, you'll have to write something down. You have to work by hand, so you skip that one also and move to 30, which I believe the calculator can solve. So 30 says the table below shows the distribution. Use it to answer questions 30 and 31. So we are supposed to find the third quartile. So the third quartile will be 3 over 4 times the sigma f. So 3 over 4 sigma f. So we add the frequencies. 6 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3, which is 30. So let's see the mark which corresponds to 30. So 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 18 plus 10 is 28. So 30 will be 4, which is C. We move on to question 31. Question 31 says, find what percentage of students scored more than the modal mark. So the modal mark here is 3. So scoring more than the modal mark will be 9 plus 3. So 9 plus 3 times the sigma f, which is 6 plus 4, 9 plus 3, which is 12. 12 divided by sigma f, so 12 over 6 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10 plus 9 plus 3. So 3 over 10 times 100 will be 30%, which is C. 31 is C. So we move on to question 37. This one is also very, very, very easy. Question 32. It says if P is equal to 7 kilometers, 0.53 degrees, and Q is 5 kilometers, 233 degrees, find P plus Q. So very simple. I move to my complex mode, and it says we are adding P plus Q. So this one is very simple. So 7 kilometers, and the angle will be shift angle 53 degrees, plus, no, where is my plus gone? So plus 5 kilometers, 233 degrees. So I press equal to, and this is in the form of I and J. So if I want the angular type, I press shift mode, I press down arrow, then complex. I choose complex. We have A plus BI, we have R theta. So I choose R theta 2. Then I'll get my R theta. So 0.53 degrees, which is D. So question 33 is mapping. We are supposed to find the values of M and N if f of -1 is 2 and f of 1 is -2. This is very simple. You end up getting simultaneous equation. So we put x as -1 and get the equation to be in terms of M and N, and put f as 1 and get the equation to be in terms of M and N again. So the first equation will be -m plus n is equal to 1, and the second equation will be m plus n is equal to -3. So we go to mode equations and we choose simultaneous equations. So the first equation is -m, which is -1, plus n, which is 1, is equal to 1. Yes, and the second equation is m, the coefficient is 1, n, which is also 1, is equal to -3. So -3. I press equal to get my first answer. X is equal to -2, y is equal to -1. So m is equal to -2, n is equal to -1, which is C. We move on to question 34. Find the acute angle between lines that and that. So this one, you have to work by hand, so you will skip that one. It's very simple, but because we want to use the calculator to solve, that's why we are skipping it for now. Tan inverse, it will be tan inverse of first gradient minus second gradient all over first gradient times second gradient plus 1. So you have to find the gradient and find that expression. So let's skip it and move on to 35. 35, a uniform rod. Okay, this one too, we have to work it. It's also very simple. So sum of clockwise moments equals sum of anti-clockwise moments. So we have to work it down. This one to take 1 minute. So let's skip that one and go to 36, which the calculator, I believe, can solve perfectly well. Which of the following is valid conclusion? Okay, this one is just a straightforward question. So we first consider the statement. Those who study physics are engineers. Engineers are wealthy. So this one is very easy. So A, Ben is wealthy implies he's an engineer. No. If Ben is wealthy, it doesn't imply that he's an engineer. Though physicians, those who study physics are engineers, it doesn't mean that if you are wealthy, then it means you are an engineer. No. So the second is Ben didn't study physics, implies he is not an engineer. That one too is not entirely true. C, Ben studied physics, but he is not wealthy. The statement says that those who study physics are engineers. Engineers are wealthy. So if you study physics, it means you'll be wealthy. So if Ben studied physics, but he's not wealthy, then that's not a true statement. So the D will be Ben studied physics and he's wealthy. That's the correct answer. Those who study physics are engineers. Engineers are wealthy. So if you study physics, you are wealthy. So it's D. Let's move on to the question 37. This one the calculator can solve. A polynomial is defined by 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 3x plus 5. Find the remainder when it's divided by -x minus 3. So this is very simple. Let's put it in the comp mode. So mode comp. Then we type the equation, which is 2 alpha x shift cube 2x cubed minus 7 alpha x squared plus 3 alpha x plus 5. So we are supposed to, when it's divided by x minus 3, so x minus 3 is equal to 0. So let's put in the value of 3. Whatever answer we get, that is the remainder. So I press calculate and I put 3, sorry, it's x minus 3, so we put in 3 rather. Press equal to get 5. So the remainder will be 5D. Let's move on to question 38. 38 says simplify n minus 1 factorial all over n times n factorial. So this is very simple. You know this denominator, n factorial is the same as n times n minus 1 factorial. So n times n minus 1 factorial. So n minus 1 factorial will cancel the numerator n minus 1 factorial. So leaving 1 at the numerator and n times n at the denominator. So 1 over n squared, which is b. So 38 is b. Question 39 says find in ascending powers of x the third term in the binomial expansion. So the binomial expansion will be 5 combination 2. So 5, the third term. So the first is 5 combination 0, second term combination 1, third term combination 2. So the combination 2 will be 10. 10 multiplied by 2 cube, because it's in ascending power. So 2 cube times negative x squared. So we have 80x squared. 80x squared. So which is C. Question 40 says the length of the size of a metal cube increases at a rate of 0.1 meters per second. Find the rate at which the volume increases at the instance when the length is 1.2. This is also very easy. This is differentiation. So we differentiate the volume of a cube, which is s cube. So differentiate the volume of a cube, which is x cube. That's length times breadth times height, s cube. Okay, for x is equal to what? 1.2. Remember, he says the length is 1.2, so length is 1.2. But we are supposed to multiply it by the rate at which it increases, which is 0.1. So I bring the cursor in front of the dy dx and I type 0.1 and I press equal to give my final answer, which is 54 over 125. So I press SD to get 0.432. 0.432, which is D. So calculate the amount of minutes we use to solve these 30 questions out of 40 questions. We skipped only 10. So now let's go and see how we solve the 10 questions that we are writing. So if you're able to solve this, like 30 out of 40 questions with the calculator, already you've gotten your A. You've gotten your A. So let's divide and see. 30, let's find the percentage. 30 divided by 40 times 100. So percentage. That's 75%. And 75% in current Wassce is A1. So if you're able to solve 30 out of 40 questions and even go ahead and solve your remaining questions by hand, at least if you're able to get 30 questions, the 10 questions that we skipped, you can get like 5 questions out of it. 35. You've gotten more than A. So let me know your comments and your contributions. And if there's any question that you don't understand, you can also bring it forward and we will see how we use the calculator to solve it. But for now, it's bye for now. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just click on the notification channel, the bell icon, so that anytime I post a video, you'll be notified. My name is once again Joshua Antobre Pajo, aka Social Media Maths Teacher. Until then, it's bye for now.